Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to show you the differences between var, let, and const, keywords that you use to declare variables in JavaScript. By the end of this video, the differences between these three keywords should be clear and you should be comfortable using these three keywords. Let's start now. Let's begin with the var keyword. Var keyword is used to create a variable that is available in the global scope and also available inside the local or functional scope. So we create a variable using the var keyword by typing var, then the name of the variable, then the equal sign, and the value. Here we assigned a value of 5 to the variable x. We can reassign the value by simply adding the name of the variable, the equal sign, and a new value. We can test this, then pass in the variable, and at this point the value of x is 10. But at the top here, it's going to be 5. So it's possible to use the var keyword and to reassign the value. That's the first thing that you need to remember about when using var. When you use var inside a block, you can create a new variable here, which is equal to 45. We can log it, and once we log it, the value is logged on the console. So this variable is available within this block of code. This can as well be a function. So this variable, when using the var keyword, is also accessible here. So if we moved this down here, it's still going to be accessible. You can change this to 40. So this variable is accessible. It's declared inside the block, but it's accessible outside. When you're using var, that's something you need to remember. So this one, we call it local. Then this would be, this is a global variable that's available as well as inside this block. Example, if we log x here, then comment out this, we are going to get the value of the new reassigned x, which is 10. So this variable declared or reassigned outside this block is still available inside. The variable declared inside this block is available outside. That is the most important thing to remember about the var keyword. Like, variables are going to be reassigned, and once a variable is declared inside a block, it's going to be available outside the block. That creates a problem because sometimes you may not want this variable to be accessible outside. So let's now look at the let keyword. The let keyword is similar to var with a few differences. Let me show you. So we define the variable by let x, then we equate it to the value 10. Then we can reassign it just like we do it, in using var. So we reassign this to 50. Then we can log here, and the value of x at this particular point is 50. But we can move it up here, the value is going to be 10. So that behavior is similar to the behavior of var. Now I'd like us to pay attention to the block. If we create a new variable inside here, using the let keyword, we have it accessible inside the block. We can access it inside the block. But now if we try to access this outside the block, I'd like to copy that here. It's going to result into a reference error since this has not been defined. So when you use let inside a block, this local variable is not going to be available outside here. In the case of, if this was var, it's going to be available. But now when it's let, it results to a reference error. So that's something you need to remember when you're using a variable using the let keyword, it's going to be available inside the block, but now when you try to access it outside the block, it's going to give you a reference error. Also, you need to remember the other way, that if it's the var keyword, inside the block it's available, and once you leave the block, it's still going to be available. Then we move to the next one, which is the const keyword. Const is supposed to declare variables that we don't intend to change in the lifecycle of the script. So we use the keyword const, then we declare a variable x, then we give it 1,000. Or the best thing is to give this something that does not change. Like we can use pi equals to 3 pi should be 3.14159 if I'm not wrong. So that's the value of pi, which we use to calculate circles, circumference of a circle. So if this is a variable that you don't expect to change in the lifecycle of this particular script, we assign it a constant. It's also going to be common for you to see arrays and objects assigned as constants. So we can create an array as a constant, then we can create an object as a constant. So this can also be an object. We can also create functions as objects, those fundamental functions in your script that you don't expect to change. So in these declarations, you need to remember that the value of this array object can change, and as well as the array and this function, whatever the retro or whatever is in that inside that, the value can change. But now the function cannot be redeclared, or this object cannot be redeclared, neither can we redeclare this array. So back to this pi. So if we try to reassign this value, let's see what happens. X equal to, we now maybe shorten it, reassign. Then we log it, it reassigns. So reassigning is going to work. But now what happens once we try to redeclare it? So we do something like unlog. We're going to get this error, like redeclaration of a constant of pi does not work, like it's not supposed to work. So you need to remember when you're dealing with constants that constants, you cannot redeclare them. We cannot test this in the block. So we can create another constant in here, and we log that constant. This should be correct. So we create a variable e, then you can do 2.7. Then we can log this e, get rid of this, and the value is available inside this block. So then we can move this outside, and as you can guess, it's not going to be available. Const is not going to declared inside this block, is not going to be available outside the block. So in this regard, const behaves the same way as let. Once you declare it inside the block, outside the block is not going to be accessible. So those are the differences between let, var, and const. By the end of this video, I'm sure you now understand the differences between using const, let, and var keywords for declaring variables in JavaScript. If you have further questions, kindly consider leaving the comment in the section below or writing to me using the link in the description. Thank you.